so he's just getting even with people. Look, Danica, he can do three things. He can sign the bill right now, and those 14 million people will be reinstated with their unemployment insurance. They're not going to get as much as he says they want. And the eviction stuff will come through, and there's all kinds of legislation there to assist with vaccines at the local and state level. I mean, it's very, very important. And the spending bill. I mean, the government's going to run out of money. And last week he didn't sign the appropriation for defense, the armed forces. So that's still on the hook. And so look, he could sign it, and everything will go back to normal, or he could just veto it, in which case Congress needs 2/3 of the vote, both in the Senate and the House, to override the veto, or his Republican allies can back off and sustain the veto. And Danica, this is the third choice. The president can do absolutely nothing. It's called a pocket veto, and within 10 days, all that legislation is off the table and have to be renegotiated or re-upped again in Congress. So, he can do that. And he's looking for his finale here. I mean, he doesn't even have to go back to Washington, as a matter of fact. This looks like a scene in the Game of Thrones. The president's playing golf. The vice president skiing on the western slope of the Rockies. And we got millions of Americans that are queuing up for food, including 17 million children, according to some groups last night, that went to bed hungry. So the president is doing something very strange here. He seems disconnected, but keep in mind that 94% of Republicans, that is registered Republicans, regard him, they support his position. So he is the not just the titular or nominal head of the Republican Party, he's running the show. And until further notice, the president of the United States is the candidate for 2024, and that's what he's counting on. And so we're going to see a little more of Donald Trump, but he's looking for his finale here. He's a Hollywood type guy. That is, he understands TV and movies. He's looking for the great ending to put everything on suspense until he can run again. So this is as suspenseful it gets, but it's going to hurt the market. It's going to hurt America's allies and the rest of it. And I'll tell you what, Donald Trump gets a little scary once in a while.
Well, you say he's looking for his finale. Do you suspect, Professor, that perhaps there's an element of coronavirus politics at play almost?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The coronavirus politics is playing everything. Without this pandemic, the president wouldn't have this kind of leverage. And by the way, Danica, my favorite finale, and I think the president's finale too, is The Sopranos, where you just fade to black. You never know what's going to happen till later on. But look, we're in for a ride, and there are a lot of Americans going hungry tonight. This is the perfect storm for a pushback if the Democrats can organize it. But look, how many people can go to bed hungry and not pay the rent and get thrown out in the street in January before they fight back? So I think the president's also playing a very dangerous game.